Hi, this is Linda Cardellini, and today I'm hanging out with Steve Prusakowski on TV Topics.
Hey, where's the remote? It's time for TV Topics.
So, thank you so much for doing this today, Linda.
Thank you.
Or should I call you Watermelon Breeze?
Watermelon Breeze. I do have a few people who call me Watermelon Breeze now.
No, that's not a bad nickname.
No, but apparently that's only a summer drink because somebody went in there and asked for it, and the girl rolled her eyes and said, "That's only a summer drink, and we don't have it." So apparently, a lot of people going in there asking for the Watermelon Breeze now.
I guess not everyone knows the rules, but oh well. Or the menu.
Yeah.
So I've been a fan for decades. Freaks and Geeks is an all-time favorite. I loved it when it first came out. I watched it with my daughters, and I was just recommending it. I said, it's a great show to kind of, if you have kids, especially daughters, because your character is such a great character and kind of a role model in that she's independent and she has like this energy to her that I'm like, I want my kids to feel like that. I want them to make decisions. I don't want them to be cookie cutter. And we watched it together. They loved it, but also I think they really took to that part of her. And we discussed the ending. It wasn't just like, and it's happily ever after. We got to have this discussion about a character that's not just, something that you see typically on TV or anywhere these days. It was just so fleshed out, especially for a comedy.
Thank you. That makes me really happy to hear.
But then you also had Mad Men, ER, Scooby-Doo, Dead to Me, all amazing. So
thank you. I've been very, very lucky. A lot of great parts.
Very lucky, very talented, and you make some good choices.
Thank you.
So all right, enough like praising you. I'm gonna.
No, more of that, please.
Okay, here's where we rip you apart. No.
Oh, great. There's always that.
No. Everything here is pretty tame. We'll head into the TV topics right now.
Okay.
And we'll talk. First, we'll do TV topics. Then we'll talk about DTF St. Louis. But the TV topics, there's no right or wrong answers. No pressure. It's all just a bit of fun.
Okay.
So, looking back over the years, what has your relationship with television been? Are you a TV junkie who watches everything? Are you very selective? Do you have go-to shows?
I have spurts. I go in spurts. Like there'll be times when I'm not working and I'll have time to watch things and I'll watch them. I'll sit down and I'll watch too much television. And then I go through periods where I can't watch anything. I'm just sort of not at home and don't have enough time to invest in things. And so I'll just catch a few different shows. I won't invest in a show. But no, I love television, especially now. I grew up with it too. That was sort of, we had to have an appointment with it back then. I mean, sometimes you have an appointment with television now, but not in the same way that you used to when we were kids. So I like the idea that I can pick and choose all the things, but I've just always loved television and movies, and being able to sort of be a part of that. I'm just like, I didn't know anybody was doing it. I didn't know it was really possible. So it's a dream come true for sure.
So, when did that dream begin? Like what triggered you becoming an actress?
I was I always performed in the front room. I was, the baby of four, and I probably needed a lot of attention. So I was trying to always put on shows in the front room. But it wasn't until I was, maybe 11, and we got a new teacher at our school, and she made us all sing. And then I sang and she said, "I would like you to be in the play," and she put me in a community play. And from there on out, that was all I wanted to do.
That's great. It's amazing that, it's usually one person or, there's one thing that triggers it, that starts this path. Otherwise, you're going to follow some path and be an accountant or whatever. But no, you become an artist, and then decades later, you've entertained with great characters and great performances. And it wouldn't have happened if you didn't have that one person in your life.
I agree. She's an incredibly special person. I just saw her recently, and I love her so much. And she never wants to take any credit for it. She goes, "Oh, you would have found it anyways." But it was somebody believing in you and picking you out, somebody seeing something in you that you thought could be there, but nobody else saw. So the idea of feeling seen and finding something that feels right to you, I think that was important at that age.
And without even trying, you kind of touched upon a lot of the themes of DTF St. Louis, about being seen and about someone, taking that moment to acknowledge you and to treat you like a person, not just a part of life. We'll get into that. I'm sorry, I'm going to sidetrack my own questions.
No, please.
So what's the first primetime show that you remember really loving? No matter how good or bad it was your TV show.
I loved China Beach. when I was a kid. It was on at the same time as 90210, I think, when I was young. And so a lot of other people I knew were watching that, but I loved it. Was a drama about being in Vietnam and starring Dana Delaney. And I just loved the show so much. That was like my favorite show when I was young.
Is there a reason it stood out?
It was emotional. The acting was great. I don't know. I just loved it. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, now thinking back, don't remember much about it. I just remember loving
Mhm.
it at a time when other kids were changing the channel. I was like, no, I'm watching
Everyone else is
China
talking
Beach.
about, Tori Spelling and company, and you're like,
Yeah.
I was in
I mean, that
Vietnam.
was great too. That definitely has its
Yeah.
place. But yeah,
Oh,
I was
it
watching
all
something a
does.
little more heavy, I think.
Yeah. So what show makes you laugh most?
But maybe
Is there
I'm
one
wrong.
that-
I mean, maybe it wasn't at the same time. I don't have to go back and fact check myself, maybe.
Oh, we're not here to nitpick. We're here to
Yeah, it gets
get
all
the general.
jumbled. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how TV is. It is all jumbled. You used to have to be at, like you said, appointment television. You had to be at home at 8 o'clock and to watch. Was it Three's Company on Tuesdays? Was 8 or 8:30?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and those days are gone. So
Well, then you'd have to fight for the TV. You didn't have a TV in
yes.
every room, So whoever got there first or whoever was the toughest got to pick.
I'm one of 6, so
Oh, yeah, there you go.
we fought constantly. Yeah, but there's a
Yeah,
lot of
I
shows
was-
I watched because I lost the fight. That
Yes,
I'm like,
true.
like Days of Our Lives.
I loved Days of Our Lives. I used to watch it with my grandmother. My grandmother and we always watched Days of Our Lives, and we always watched Wheel of Fortune.
Great shows. The Days of Our Lives of Marlena, the John Black Roman thing. I don't know if you remember
Bo
all
and
that.
Hope. Oh
Bo
my
and
gosh!
Hope,
I remember
yes.
when I first moved to LA, I saw Bo in the supermarket, and I was just stunned. And I think I must have terrified him with the look on my face because I'm sure he was used to it. But yeah,
I can almost remember his name. I think it's Patrick.
Peter
something.
Raquel.
Peter Raquel. That's it. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well done.
And Patch, he was wonderful.
Yes. Yes. He he was like the first like anti-hero that I liked. He'd show up, he'd be in the corner of the room with a patch on. You're like, this guy's up to no good. But I kind of want to see see where he goes and
but I hope he falls in love.
Yes, exactly. I hope he finds love. So what about a show that makes you laugh most? Is there one that you put on for a pick-me-up or a quick laugh?
I travel a lot, and in hotel rooms, there's only certain channels, and I can always find the Golden Girls, and I love it so much. I love watching those actresses together. They were so wonderfully funny, and the beginning of that show, the theme song, I just love it so much. That's my go-to.
Yeah, great theme song. Is there one of the characters, one of the girls that's your favorite?
That's tough. Because I think they each hold their own, and that's what's so beautiful about the show. I mean, I think I'm sometimes partial to Sophia.
Sophia, Sophia's the mother, right?
The mother. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Who's only like about a year older than any of them, but
yeah.
I forever thought that's a 90-year-old woman as a kid.
But then Betty White. I mean, they're all good. Betty White. You have Rose.
Oh, yeah.
They're all. I mean, without one of them, it doesn't work the same way. They're all fantastic.
Yeah, that's casting magic, which is very nice to see that the Academy Awards finally brought casting into the mix, because it's not just who's on screen, it's who brought them to the screen and who saw that, who envisioned that. So
and
how
the
about
mix and match of people too.
Oh yeah, for sure. On the opposite end of the spectrum, what about crying? Do you cry when you watch TV at all?
Oh yes, I can cry about just about anything.
So what about
I do.
What about a show recently that moved you or made you cry?
Oh wow. Trying to think of what I've watched recently that was super emotional. Um, hmm. Sometimes I try to stay away from those if I can at the moment. I'm trying to think of what. Give me some hints. What have you been watching that's been very emotional lately?
I mean, DTF, that final episode really hit me, but
that is
but
that's a doozy.
Yeah, it is. It's I mean, we'll get into it, but the pit. There's definitely some moments.
Yeah,
on there
I get a lot of anxiety with that kind of stuff too. That gives me a little bit like yeah.
What about one like over the years? Is there any one show that you remember watching that like that brought you to tears? It could be 40 years old. I don't care.
I mean, yes, everything basically. There's trying to think. I don't have a good answer yet. Can we come back to it?
Okay,
It'll
come
come
back
to
to
me
it.
as we talk about other things.
Yeah, it's not that important, but it's always
It's
nice to
almost,
hear.
I probably have cried at just about everything. So I have to really kind of zero in on one.
Once I became a parent, I cried at coffee commercials. It's crazy.
Yes, for
I
sure.
used to be like stoic man, not wouldn't laugh or cry, and then all of a sudden I'm like, it's decaffeinated.
Yes, exactly.
So, what's one iconic TV character that you would like to play? And now the original cast would stay preserved, so it's like a magic question. You get to work with that cast. It's like they take that same cast, they take that person out, you get dropped in. But you're not replacing them. You're not being compared to them. You just want to take on that role. And
Ooh. Hmm. God, these are hard because I really want to answer right. I mean, I could pick something off the top of my head, but then 10 minutes later, I'll think, oh, wait, I would have had a better answer for that. Um,
well, that's why we do reruns on here. If you want to come back, you can always.
I mean, how cool would it be to play Don Draper, right? If I could just get in there and doesn't matter if I'm competing or whatever. And I just, just that part is such an incredible part.
Mhm.
What an incredible show. I love that show so much. Trying to think of what else. I'm trying to think.
I
I'm
mean
bad at
that's
this.
just
This
an
is
insanely good answer though, because I can imagine what you'd bring to it with the dialogue that he's given. It's
yeah.
just
I mean, it could never
incredibly
happen. It
written.
doesn't even fit the times. It doesn't. You wouldn't. But if you didn't have to worry about if the character was male or female, if you
Oh,
could just act it for fun, I think it'd be fun to do.
that's why we
Um,
deal with magic here. We don't have to worry
yes,
about
this is
reality for a
magical
while.
realism here.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, anybody on Game of Thrones, I would love to have been on that show. It just is so, or Downton Abbey. Those shows, I just think there's just magical worlds. To sort of insert yourself into that world anywhere
Hmm.
would be fun.
Very cool answers and very very unique. Nice spectrum of types of shows.
Thanks.
It's fun to imagine what you'd bring to it. So
I
let's
don't know
hop
that
in.
I'm right for it, but it would be fun to do.
Oh, you know
You
what?
know what
You
I'm
don't have
saying?
to be right for it.
Yeah.
You know what? There's been plenty of people who weren't right and turned out to be amazing, and vice versa. So there's no right or wrong. It's what you want to do. So you're trying out for the role, and I
But
cast
just
you.
to
You're
be
good.
in that world and those ensembles are so beautiful,
Hmm.
So I just, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, with those shows too, you're going well, you're going to different eras, but also you're going to worlds that don't exist, and
Hmm.
and the sets for Game of Thrones I heard were incredible. So it'd be fun just to kind of play in that playground. That
Yeah.
alone,
Except I don't really like to be cold, so that would be.
that might not be a good
I
choice
have to
then.
be in a very warm castle if I was in there.
Stick to Bad Men, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
So let's dive into DTF St. Louis. Amazing work. I mean,
Thank you.
what a journey you took us on, and an unexpected one, which was I thought was really something. One of the most special things about the series was you didn't know ever where it was going to go and who we were meeting. You thought you knew, and you didn't, and that was with every character from beginning to end, right into the last moments, and to keep us that engaged, but to keep them so human is just an incredible accomplishment. So
Thank you.
Carol's a tough read. She's both
Yes.
heavily guarded and then strikingly vulnerable at times and exposed. So let's start with the guarded. She can be very direct, sometimes rude. She wears this massive umpire gear that kind of creates a physical barrier and shields her from the world. What is it she's shielding against at that time?
I think she's carrying a lot. I think she's looking to be in control of something and to feel like she has some agency in her life. I think that's why she's always using that. Can you speak up? Trying to get people to sort of be on her playing field, really, to use a pun. But I think that umpire outfit represents a lot of the weight that she's carrying in terms of like he's Floyd's character talks about carrying physical weight, but she carries this weight of the family and trying to make ends meet because Floyd doesn't really, even though he's a wonderful guy and he's so lovable and so dear, he doesn't totally fulfill the end of the bargain that they had together. And so she's left to sort of like pick up the slack in a way that she didn't realize, I don't think, when they first got together, that she would have to. And she keeps hoping that he'll join in and do the things she asks, like canceling the gardeners, and he just finds other things to be more important, other priorities. And this thing that she carries with her, he's ashamed of his body because he used to be something different. He used to be a Playboy or Playgirl model, and he used to be very like associate with his body and his physicality, and now he seems to have felt like he lost that. She's wearing this thing, she's doing it for the family, she's earning extra money, and yet that's the thing that he finds least attractive about her. And I think that's something that umpire outfit is funny, it's bizarre, but it's also heartbreaking in the scene that they have together. And I think it's sort of the catalyst, that moment when he says, that's a big turnoff for me, basically, when they're sitting outside and you see sort of Carol crack and really cry for the first time. That moment, I think, shapes the rest of the story. And it actually comes before what you've already seen, where she engages with Jason Bateman's character, Clark. So it's the whole umpire thing can be silly, it can be quirky, but it's also the catalyst for the change in the relationship in some ways.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way, where she's putting that on because she cares, because she needs to do this for her son and for her family. And to have that insulted, to have that be something that's the thing that disappoints him, that turns him off, is such a dagger to the heart.
Yeah. Because really, more than anything, her child is wildly unhappy at the school that he's in. And it's causing problems. And she knows that if they make enough money, if they get enough money, they can get him out of that situation. That's very urgent to her. And so she's trying everything she can to do that. And the umpiring is a big part of that. It's cash in her pocket every day behind the house. So
yeah,
it's also incredibly silly. And that's beautiful how Steve Conrad does that. He's got such a magic in sort of weaving those things together, sort of the absurd and the truly human, and putting them together in a way that is bizarre and relatable and funny.
Yeah, he does an amazing job. There's moments that you're near tears, and then seconds later you're like, what am I watching? And just laughing with just how absurd it can be. I thought like the on your left, and that kind of like dismissiveness at times with people is one of her defense mechanisms to kind of like to create some agency, to kind of say, I have something, I'm important.
I think so. And I also think it's one of these things where she's just not concerned with what people think of her. And I think is very rare and comes off as off-putting, and just goes into somewhere, no tip. She's not interested in pleasing anybody, which I found really wonderful about playing her. There's a freedom in that you're not concerned with anybody outside of who you are really devoted to, their perception of you. And I think that duality lends itself to you thinking she's suspicious. So when you see her being rude to somebody who's helping her, you can kind of imagine that she might be doing other terrible things as well, even though it's just a slight infraction, that socially there. I think we've all encountered those people, and you just think, what is wrong with that person? Why are they such a jerk? So but I loved that about her. And I loved, the men in the story, they're very easy to get to know to begin with. You feel like their hearts right away. And for me, especially, I've played a lot of those characters. So Carol was really fascinating to me because she works the opposite. You sort of have to chisel away at her and then you get to know her. And that was really fun to be that opaque.
Yeah, you don't know who she is at all going in, and I still don't know if she ever had Floyd has this past life, has these pictures he can look back upon, but it doesn't seem like she does. It doesn't seem what she has is her son, and there's nothing, no past, and with Floyd not carrying the weight, kind of like a lemon of a car. the future is not there either. It's just going to be churning and churning and churning and churning until, one day, hopefully, all goes well, but never going to be that big victory for her. So it's like, it's watching her and the things you said already. It's just like you understand who she is and how tough it is to just not be recognized, to not have something that makes you feel important or stand out, and just have to go back in every day, put on the umps uniform, put on the Purina jacket, and go do your
vest.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can tell that she got that Purina vest for working there for a long time, and it's actually a gift. And so that's her sense of pride with wearing that Purina vest. Also, it's very comfortable.
I could see that. So as a viewer, my feelings toward Carol shifted dramatically. Curious and slightly off-put to suspicious, and eventually feeling just so much in the end. I just fell in love with her, and it's hard not to empathize with who she was. Just the way she worked with her son and treated her son and cared for him, but then caring for strangers as an umpire and encouraging kids that she didn't have to, and and then hearing her backstory and finding out that she didn't do something bad. She did something good, and she did something bad for good purposes. And like, what's more important than taking care of your family? And
what's more vulnerable than stealing toilet paper?
Yes.
That's just, of all things, she's not stealing a lipstick. She's not stealing anything to make herself. She's literally something that her and her family really need. I thought that was such a beautiful reveal. I think it's funny when people think that Carol is just in it for the money, because David's character gives her these, Floyd gives her these beautiful earrings in the middle of the show, and she won't take them. So if you really look at that moment, she's not taking anything for herself, really. I mean, she's having this extramarital affair that we figure out wasn't so secret. But she's not doing any of her greediness is sort of implied, and it's sort of assumed by the audience, but it really isn't there when you look at it. She's not trying to have fancy clothes. She's not taking the diamond earrings. She's really just saving it all so she can buy her son a new bedspread and get him into a better school.
Yeah, it's easy though. You're put into this world where you watch this character that you fall in love with in the first episode, and all of a sudden he's dead, and you're thinking, okay, it's always the spouse. So there's that ring of suspicion that surrounds you, but yet, and sometimes, which is true in the real world, that we can completely ignore someone's true story or who they are or what they're saying or showing, and kind of just follow our own instincts. And
or a pattern we've seen before, or you know what I mean, like the categorization of, oh, this is this person, they do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way that Steve Conrad writes it, because even when I was reading it, I thought the same thing. And then you realize, oh, wait, there's all these little tiny moments that lead you to who he tells you she is in the end. And it's just, I think he's such a beautiful writer that way.
So what was your understanding of Carol when you first started and you got involved with this series? And what was it once you completed her story and you knew her fully? Did it change much?
The original, it changed as I read it, because I was trying to figure out who's who in the story. And when you're reading it for the first time, you're reading it like anybody reads or sees anything for the first time. So as each episode sort of unfolded and he subverts your expectation and sort of changes the genre, everything about it just sort of continues to evolve and change and twist. It was really fun to learn those things about her. And I think they're fashioned that way for a reason. So when you see the first episode, you do believe, I think the suspicion turns on sort of everybody at some point. And I remember for me, I thought, oh, okay, well, it's Carol. Then I thought, okay, well, wait, it's her son, or wait a minute, it's Jason, or Clark. So I loved the way it was written like that, and that excited me about the script. Carol, I loved that you didn't, like I said, the men unfold pretty early. You understand who they are. You can kind of see their vulnerabilities, and I loved that hers were sort of reserved for the end of the show. so that you really do think, oh, I underestimated, I misunderstood that person. You may like or not like her, but there was more to know about her, and you thought you knew. You already thought you knew who she was. So that to me was a really fun thing to play.
Yeah, you judged her early, and then like you didn't give it time. You looked at the cover. You read the back, and you thought you knew everything, and you didn't. So, speaking of like things you didn't expect, the humor sneaks up on you, and I love that. Often it's very dry, and it's not like it's never played for laughs. It's just like this true character humor, that you find in real life. And then you have things like the Thunder Boys. We're gonna ace that mother
It's
effing.
so great. Oh, it's so good.
Were you jealous to not be part of that? To not sing
Yes,
along?
of course. Of course. That is what could be more fun than that? They are having the best time. I remember they came back to set the next day. I'm like, you wait till you see this thing. And David would play a little, David at some point got a piece of it on his phone. He was playing it for me. I was like, oh, it's so great. How much fun is that? And the idea that it fits into the show in a way that does not seem other is so beautiful. It just says so much about how creative Steve Conrad is with weaving that tone. It's just so much fun.
Yeah,
But yes, of course, I would have loved to have been. I don't think Carol fits into the Thunder Boys, but it would have been fun.
that should be like a DVD extra or whatever they do nowadays. A mid credit, post credit scene.
Carol loves Smirnich.
Yeah, you come in and do like the middle rap.
Yeah, I just do some kind of breakdown.
Yeah, the one thing I loved about your performance was the subtleties in it, where Floyd's there, he's all upset about a comic book, and you can just see in your eyes, your words are coming out, and they're like, and your eyes are like, oh, please go away, please, like, I've had it. And then the opposite end of it, you have Clark saying something that's the most mundane thing, and you're like, ooh, and you're like, just in love, and I'm like, enamored, and I'm like, wow, that is so true, because I say this to my daughters all the time, like, I hear how you talk on the phone to your friends. You don't talk that way to your sister. What's going on?
Yeah.
Was it fun kind of playing a character that is all on the cover, and then had this kind of, the complexity to her that allows you to play around with how you deliver her lines and play her essentially.
Yes, I think those two different realities for her, the reality of being with Floyd and the reality of being with Clark's a departure. There's this sort of frivolity about it, and this openness that the history between her and Floyd, even though she loves him dearly, like I contend she truly loves him, they may have lost intimacy, they may have lost some of the attraction that they have for each other, but she really cares about his spirit and his soul, even though she may not nurture it in the way that people think she should. I think that what he has, that moment of him crying over the Batman comic and his belly being on the celery, I think it's just, that happens all of the time. And I think for me that it was fun to just sort of try to develop a moment where you see the history of this happens a lot to them. She's concerned. She thinks he's really upset about something. And then it's something that has nothing to do with reality. And him being sort of outside of the real world is something that, and real world like responsibilities there at that moment is something she's just tired of it. Or even when I'm pouring the ice in the drink after he's, and he's so upset about his sand time. Meanwhile, our freezer still doesn't work and we have no ice, and he doesn't understand why we have no ice, and I'm scooping it with a spoon into the cup. It's just, he's so beautifully kind and loving and wonderful, and you can love that about him. But living with him day to day, I wanted to sort of bring in this frustration with the fact that, like, the real world things aren't working. The gardeners are still coming. We're still paying for them. We don't have that money. The freezer is broken. The ice is broken. We don't have that. I get it about your sand time, but we have other things that we need to do, So the things that consume him sort of that she doesn't think are that important, really tend to bother her. Meanwhile, Clark's totally new. So anything they say has an energy about it because she hasn't heard it before from him. So that's that thing of sort of taking somebody for granted or being frustrated with the same problems that keep coming up in a relationship that has history versus a new person where everything feels sort of new. Even the most mundane thing with him still brings a sparkle to it because it's new. I think eventually she gets sick of him too.
Oh yeah, of course. It's only a few weeks
I
before
think
she's
after
like,
that robot, she's like, okay, yeah, I get it.
Speaking of the robot, you had some
Yeah.
funny, awkward, the most unorthodox sex scenes. Maybe not
Yes.
compared to real life, but for TV and for two beloved actors, not typically, not what you were expecting. When you saw those in the script, did your
Yes.
jaw hit the floor, or were you excited to take it on? Because you have to be very vulnerable, and you have to also be very silly.
Well, there's several facets of it, right? Like first you're thinking, oh, how do we physically do this? I have to actually be there and physically do this, right? And then, but first you read it as a story, and as a story, it's so funny that that's what his kinks are. That I think it was so enjoyable to me to read it. So it wasn't just the same old, two people just really going at it and it's hot and heavy every time they meet. It's this non-judgmental, creative, anything goes zone that I think is alluring for them. And I hadn't seen it portrayed in that way. And there's still such a sense of humor about it that it almost takes all the tawdriness out of it and makes it this quirky, odd, unusual experience you're having with these people. Like it's uncomfortable, but it's also silly. And I just thought it was a beautiful way to juxtapose the intimacy that isn't happening somewhere with it happening somewhere else and being so peculiar.
It just makes me laugh every time I think of the sitting up with the what do you call those, the popcorn, the packaging, and he's like,
yes.
You're like, what are the neighbors thinking?
And every time I opened it was such a giant box. Yeah, like who put that box there? But every time I opened it, Jason would do something a little bit different, and it just made me laugh. We had so much fun. I mean, we really did laugh a lot during those scenes. There's a lot to sort of joke about, and then that frees you up too.
I don't need details, but did you have to do all of that, or you're like?
Yes, that's all us.
Oh, wow,
that's all us. Yeah, I mean, we had people if we needed it. We could, but we didn't use them. They were there to make us comfortable if we needed to. But we ended up not using them, and just that's me. Like that's me sitting, the weight placement. That's me. That's me, and all the things. So, which was also, at this point in my life, kind of fun to do. It's freeing to do now, But yeah, we felt very comfortable after, it was explained to us how we were going to do it. They were very prescriptive about it. And it was also so funny that it was fun to do the scenes. I mean, even in the weight placement scene, there's just, Steve's like, okay, we're going to do a close up and he's just going to tap out. And the idea that he just taps out on my my upper thigh there to get me to move, it just that kind of stuff, that kind of shot. I thought it was so creative. It was so funny. And the way that Jimmy lit it and shot it, it was so beautiful. We would get to see how the frame looked like. And it ended up not being scary at all.
Yeah, I mean, that should be at the end, at the post credits, because there had to have been so many left. You don't want to do it after the 7th episode, maybe like somewhere earlier on, because you don't want, how moved I was. I wouldn't want it ruined by like, oh, and here's the, here's the robot boy and everything. But it would really be funny to see just some of like cut, and then you guys must have just like unloaded in laughter.
We did. And there were some times where, I think there's an Amazon thing that we do, not to be confused with the store. It's like a thing that Clark requests. And then there's this part where he's telling me what he would like me to say. And so we just went back and forth saying the most ridiculous things in different voices, and just, there's takes where we're just laughing. So those would be in the outtakes somewhere, I'm sure.
Sounds amazing. Yeah, I'll have to look for those, because I enjoyed it from day one. I was caught up. It's the first episode, and I love the music too. It ends on some great music that makes you like, oh, I need to watch more of this. It's just like,
what a beautiful soundtrack it is. And that's something too, when you're shooting, you don't know what the music is going to be, so seeing it put together finally and hearing all the choices that Steve made. And he's a musician too, so the music is just very specific to his taste. I think it's just so beautifully done.
I would buy the vinyl.
Big Hair fan, so I like the songs from Hair too.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't leave without, and we'll still have to do some TV topics to wrap up. But the last question about your work, I'm a fan of Freaks and Geeks, as I said, and I need to ask: would you ever do a follow up? If everything was right, the people were there, the script looked good, or are you thinking that was the perfect ending? It's time to not time to move on, but it's time to stay away from there and just let it be what it is.
I think I think it ends so beautifully. I think it is a perfect ending. There's no real ribbon tied around it. I think you can imagine where they end up going. And I think that is really about a slice of life, time in your life when you are in between adult and child or young person and that awkwardness. So I don't know how you would necessarily recapture that. I think that they would have gone on to become adults and some of that magic wouldn't be the same. I mean, of course, if everybody was doing it, it would be fun. But I don't know. I like leaving it as it is.
I agree. Excuse me. I agree. I think it's perfect. I'm like, not the ending you expected. I mean, my daughters, I remember them saying, "Why is she doing this? Why isn't she like following the road that you assume that most people would travel?" And I was like, that's why you live life, and that's why you watch shows like this to kind of challenge things that you thought, especially at their age, much more influenced, or he's more influenced by what they see, and thinking the world is always this kind of cookie cutter kids shows, and now you have people with real problems and
decisions you think are good decisions when you're that age. Maybe later when you look back, you think that may not have been the best thing to do.
So let's do some TV topics to close out. You grab your remote control, you rub it, and a genie comes out. He offers you this TV-based wish. What TV show do you want one more season of, speaking of? And it could be a prequel, it could be an extra season somewhere tagged in the middle, or it could be an extra season at the end that's, to continue the story.
I loved Boardwalk Empire. I would take another season of that. I loved those actors. I loved watching that world. I would take another season of that in a second.
Did you have a favorite character?
Ooh, they're all good. They're all good. They're all. I mean, I love Michael Shannon and everything, so he was fun to watch. It's just a Stephen Graham. I mean, there's so many. There's Charlie Cox. Great. There's so many great. I mean, of course, Steve Buscemi. I mean, it's everybody is so good in that.
All right. So, favorite theme song, one that you cannot skip, and if you sing it or hum it, you get a gold star.
Oh, it's the Golden Girls. Thank you for being a friend. Travel, you know the one. And if I threw a party.
Excellent. I would not do that. I would also not do a lot of the scenes you did at DTF. I would have run and become a greeter at Walmart, but that's just me. So how about a TV death that you would stop if you could? And don't worry about the integrity of the show, but you're like, I got to step in and prevent this death from happening.
Oh, God. Ooh. I mean, when Charlie Cox gets it on Boardwalk Empire, I wanted to stop that.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't learn about that until they open a box, right? It's like we didn't know what was in the box until.
That's right.
Like the worst surprise gift ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great choice. Great choice. All right.
I mean, of course, there's a lot of them, but I mean, Floyd, of course, I would stop Floyd, but that's my own show. You can't do your own show.
Yeah. I have a lot of questions to continue asking, but I will not. But yeah, I didn't want Floyd to go.
I was hoping quite a lot of people on television. Maybe I'd take back some of their deaths, but then there'd be no show.
You are also a big fan of Game of Thrones, so there's a whole library of deaths.
I know. I don't know if I can just pick one.
Yeah, but your selection was fantastic. So let's move on to the greatest moment in TV history, according to Linda Cardellini.
Oh, I don't know. That's hard. That's hard. I don't have one. I don't have any real good answer for that.
It doesn't have to be. It's just a moment. What moment impacted you? So something that you'll forever remember, that as you're watching, you're
never remember.
This is burned into my brain.
What's yours?
Man, I did several.
You don't even.
I don't know.
That's what you get. There you go.
I'm a blank slate.
Yeah. That's what happens
questions.
when somebody asks you. You just boop. I don't have a good answer for that one yet. Come back to me on that one.
If you do come up with it, please let me know.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I'm not better at that.
Oh, no worries. TV topics confessions. What is the one show that you know that you should have watched? Oh, I did it wrong. TV topics confessions. What is the one show that you know you should have watched by now, but you haven't, and everybody else has?
The Wire.
The Wire?
The Wire.
Oh, you've got to put that on your list.
Yeah, I know.
If you like Game of Thrones, if you like Boardwalk, it's, very different shows, but there's definitely little qualities of the shows that you've mentioned that would fit into there. And it's a very easy watch too. Like you'll plow through the seasons because you can't get enough. Well, if you watch it, let me know what you think.
Okay.
But yes, is there a reason you didn't watch it?
No, I just somehow missed it.
Yeah, it's too much TV. So
there's a lot of great TV. How lucky are we? There's a lot of good TV.
Oh, of course, endless TV. It's my life sometimes.
Good for us.
Yes, your penance is 4 episodes by, let's say, September, and then 3 Hail Marys.
Okay, great.
All right. And 2 more. 4 TV shows that make up your TV Mount Rushmore.
I'd say Downton Abbey. I would say Game of Thrones. I would say, I need to, Mad Men. Even though I was on it, before I was on it, not counting myself. And I would say one more. Maybe we could go. Well, there's so much to choose from. Do you go new? Do you go old? Way back when?
This doesn't have to be the best, just 4 shows that really connected with you.
Then the Golden Girls. I'm going to put the Golden Girls in there.
Nice choice.
They deserve it.
Nice choice. All right, we're going to close out with the final question. If you have a magic door in your house, one that allows you to open up and access a TV show. You walk in, you're living in that world. You're part of it. You walk out, you're back in your real world. And your real world stops. So your real life pauses. Every time you go in there, you don't have to worry about, I missed my, some event. No, you get to come back to that. So which show would it be and why?
Has to be something fun, right? You want to have a good time. I'm not acting in it. I just get to live in there.
Yes.
Ooh, I need something that's not dramatic.
You can make whatever life you want in it. You get to go and hang out with whoever you want.
I need something like SpongeBob where it's just going to be fun. I'm just going to hang out. It's not going to get too serious. And just live in a sort of cartoon world. That'll be fine for me. I don't want to go anywhere serious where there's like a dragon that's going to kill me. You
can live under the sea. You're fine with that?
I mean, if I
Prudy
could.
hands at all times.
Why not? I mean, there you go. That's the best part about it, is you just go live under the sea.
All right. Well, you can have it. I hate the water, so I will.
You hate the water?
Yeah, for the most part. I'm
trying to think of like a real life show that I would go live in. I don't know. They're all so dramatic. I'd have to pick some kind of comedy but then bad stuff happens in comedies.
You could be the neighbor on Golden Girls.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe I'll just go to some like make-believe world instead, I think. Turns out I wanted to go to some make-believe world in all of my answers.
Hey, it's fine.
Real life's tough.
Yeah, it is tough, isn't it? So thank you so much for your time today. It has been wonderful, and I love your work. Congratulations on that, and I look forward to what you do next. Oh, and I didn't bring up Friday the 13th.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming for you soon. Jan Voorhees is coming for you soon.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Take care. You too.
Bye now.
Bye.